Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and today is Spooky Friday. So I did have some technical difficulties yesterday, so I'm going to be posting this pretty late tonight or tomorrow morning, but we just do our best. So today I built a haunted house that was a little bit Victorian, a little bit Tudor. I didn't really want to make a mansion or anything, just a old looking house. I wanted it to be kind of abandoned looking and just really old and kind of overgrown. So yeah, I ended up having a really hard time with the roofs. So I just tried to do very simple roofs as much as I could. I was trying to do, I think they're called mansardo roofs, and this was pretty much the only way I figured out how to do it without, like, making it too complicated. I'm sure there's another way to do this, but this was the best way I felt like I could do it. And so at first I wanted to do a mansardo roof on this side as well, but I ended up just using a regular hip roof and extending that part of the tower. And so I made the shape of the house kind of irregular because I feel like old houses that are a little bit irregular can be a little more spooky. And here I'm just extending the roof so I can have a overhang for a porch in the front. Later on I extend it in the back as well. This is available on the gallery if you guys want to download it. It does have a lot of spooky stuff. So make sure you have that stuff pack before downloading. And something weird, I do have a mod that allows you to move the mirrors up and down. So when I uploaded to the gallery, it said that it was modded. So I'm not sure if that will affect the build at all, and if you need the mod in order to use it. But either way, I'll provide the link for that mod in the description below in case you need that. It's a really useful mod. I use it a lot. I really like the freedom of being able to move the mirrors however high I want to. So it's pretty useful. At first, like, I had this other build and I completely just bulldozed it and started over. And yesterday I even recorded, like, maybe 4 hours I worked on this other house, and like my recording software only recorded like 8 minutes of it, so I had to start completely over. But I ended up liking this build better, so I guess it worked out. And this chimney here, it's just a regular chimney and it's just sized up, put on the side. It makes it a little more realistic as far as, because if you were to have a side chimney, normally I would build like a 2 to 3 story room and then put a chimney on top so it looks like it's all one piece. But sometimes it doesn't really look the part of the house, so I wanted to try something different. Just adding the foundation, everything was really dark. I was going for like a dark Victorian kind of theme throughout the house. So it might be a good house for if you have like a witch family or maybe a family of ghosts. That might be fun. And I thought about using the paneling that comes with the spooky stuff pack, but I felt like it was too much black and too dark for the outside, so I just went with the gray panel siding. And then I was like, well, it's kind of a lot of gray, so that's when I decided to put the Tudor styled paneling on some of the parts of the house, just for a little bit of contrast and some interest. One thing I've noticed, because before I used to use the same paneling, but then I realized, oh, like, it actually looks a lot better if you alternate the paneling so it looks like it's not all going in one direction. I think it's more realistic that way too. I did a lot of landscaping in this one because, like I said before, I really wanted it to look really like run down and old, and like the landscaping's been let go. So I tried to put in a lot of like weeds and maybe like the grass is overgrown the path. So yeah, I ended up really liking it. I haven't really done a dark kind of themed house before, so yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. And I'm also trying something new in this video, and let me know if it bothers you at all, but whenever there's like a drastic change, like in the transition, I'm trying out putting like a black fade before the transition. So there's quite a few of those. So let me know if that bothers you or not. It seemed more smooth using them in a way because otherwise it was just like a drastic jump, and so I thought you guys would appreciate that. So I think we're going to move on to the inside a little bit. In my builds, I tend to jump around a lot, so I'll be like in the kitchen and then I'll jump to another room or the outside, and because I'll find something that, oh, that'll be perfect in that room, and then I just jump around a lot, so it makes editing a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. Oh, I guess I'm not going to the kitchen yet. Yeah, this is where I decided to put the little porch in the back. Because in the backyard, I wanted to put a little graveyard, or cemetery, whatever you'd like to call it. And I also put a really big garden because I feel like in a lot of Victorian homes, they always had like a super grand garden. So I put a garden back there, and I also tried to make that look overgrown and kind of abandoned. I put it in a Windenburg lot. I felt like it fit nicely in the environment there. I think, yeah. So I also put a little pond in the back, made it kind of gross and overgrown, green, mucky water. I pretty much wanted to cover the entirety of the border with something. So I went around and I basically used a lot of the grass and the low-lying bushes around the border of the pond. And then I wanted a fountain in the garden, so I basically used one of the fountains that came with Get Together, and I put the overgrown fountain that came with Romantic Garden, and I put that in the middle so it looked like it was overgrown, but still bigger, you know. And here's the garden. I had some difficulty with the fencing again. I don't know. I had it with the fencing that went around the cemetery as well. It kept like glitching. I don't know what that is. So I put this secret magical well in the garden in the back, kind of hidden. I thought maybe, you know, if you had like a witch, that might be fun to go out there and maybe do some spells. I was just putting some shrubs around, and I also put the ivy on the fence, which actually I liked a lot, and I think I might use that again in another build. Because normally I just put the ivy on like the actual like building, but yeah, I was like, this might be really cool to put on the fence, make it look like it's overgrown. So I wanted it to look like it used to be a pretty garden, and so I was trying to make like interesting shapes and like a pathway of sorts with the shrubs. Just adding some jack-o'-lanterns. This is my favorite, putting in the ghost gnomes. I thought that was so funny. And the trees with the lights on it, I didn't really want the lights on the trees, but I liked that the trees were bare, and that's kind of what I was going for. And I mean, it added a little bit of light in the garden. Adding some ghosts in there. And if you do download this, feel free to, you know, if your sim dies or whatever, you can replace those tombstones with actual tombstones of your sims. And now we're going on to the inside. And I think, yeah, I wanted to use the cupcake machine because I haven't used it yet, but because I thought it looked kind of like a magical machine or something, but I ended up getting rid of it and putting another seating area there, so it would be more like a informal seating area, and this one right here would be the formal dining room with like another seating area, like a formal living room by the fireplace. I put so many fireplaces in this build because I figured, well, you know, in a lot of old houses there would be fireplaces throughout the house, maybe even in every room, because they didn't really have, you know, heating or anything like that. So yeah, so that's why I did that. And I also thought about, well, you know, if you had like a family, like a modern family living in this house, what I'd use, like TVs and computers and all that. I decided against it because I really wanted to stay in the theme of it being kind of abandoned and left as it were, but still a little spooky. I love these tables with the torn fabric. And if you don't have this pack already, there are these special pictures that came with the pack, and they look like normal portraits. So I had them like throughout the formal dining room area, and when I placed a sim in this house just to take screenshots, like I noticed that the pictures were changing, and I was like, what? And it actually like startled me a little bit. And you guys, I get scared pretty easily, but when it changed and there was like an evil version of the girl or the guy in the portrait, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, these portraits right here of the guy and the girl. So yeah, spoiler alert. So this is the study slash potion room. So at first I had these canvases and everything, but I took those out and I put a little table and a cauldron and some things that I thought that kind of resembled potions and whatnot for your witch or ghost to play around with. And I ended up moving this ghost over to the left side, but yeah, this study, well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite room in the house, but I liked it a lot. And then, yeah, this is where I was like, should I put a computer? But I decided against it. And then, I think this is where I put the table. And the cauldron. I also put little cobwebs and spiders in some of the rooms too. And also on the outside. So it looked even more old and abandoned. So up here I have 2 bedrooms, and there is a bedroom upstairs in the attic area. I guess you could use it as an attic or a bedroom. I also ended up making the walls another height larger because the curtain here, and also in the open space next to it, the large portrait of the Victorian lady from Windenburg, she didn't really fit on the wall very well, so that's one of the main reasons why I upped the wall height. This here is a extra bathroom. I normally like to put pretty much 1 bathroom per room, because I always feel like if you have a lot of Sims, there's never enough bathrooms. So, but there's only 2 bathrooms in this build because I couldn't really fit another bathroom anywhere. You might be able to if you download it. So this is kind of like a kid's room or a teen's room maybe. I wanted to use, it's a rug that came with the spooky stuff pack. It's like a jack-o'-lantern, but I wanted to really stick with the theme of it looking more Victorian than Halloween-ish, you know. So this room is kind of like a activity room. I put a piano and another fireplace with a seating area, and I also put a dartboard on the wall. And yeah, that's where I raised it. There she is. My favorite painting in the game. Well, one of them. And I really like these heavy drapes. I think that, you know, no spooky house is complete without some really heavy drapes. Put some seating area here around the fireplace. I also wanted to use a lot of candles too, because I feel like they're a little more old-fashioned and dates the build a little bit more than, you know, just using regular sconces. There's dartboard. Now we're going upstairs. So upstairs is another bedroom and a small bathroom. This bedroom, I guess it could be for a teen or maybe another adult or young adult or couple, whatever you want to do. I think up here would be a fun like game room or something like that if you wanted to change it up. And I think I had the bed too close to the window there, and you'll see that in the screenshots. It clips into the curtain, but that's an easy fix. And I really liked using this dark blue rug with those like heavy reddish brown curtains. I thought that was a nice color combo. Just putting some candles and oil lamp there for lighting. Because even though this house is supposed to be like haunted or whatever, I still wanted you guys to be able to see where you're going. So I put in as much lighting as I could without making it too bright, you know. Here I'm just adding some extra little details and landscaping to the front, because I felt like it was a little bare. I wasn't going to put anything up there, but I was like, well, you know, it's a little bare, so just put in some rocks and some extra details. Adding some more ivy to the front, because you can never have too much ivy. And I thought these like overhanging moss shelf things looked nice in the window areas. Just an added little detail. Adding more chimneys because there's like a bajillion fireplaces. And yeah, we're almost done, I think. I did add some jack-o'-lanterns to the front and a little bit more lighting in the front as well, and you can see that in the screenshots. I did it after I recorded. Added a little pumpkin carving station back there. Some more cobwebs. Anyways, guys, I hope you all had a good week, and I hope you have an excellent weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!